screen. I'm Pamela Goodman, and I'm the president and CEO of Ruth, Florida. I am pleased to be able to sponsor one of our endorsed candidates, Daniella Levine Cava, who, as you all know, is running for mayor in Miami. We endorsed Daniella quite a few months ago, but we've known her for quite some time and have followed her career and certainly this launch of her campaign extremely strongly. So thank you all for joining me, and thank you all for joining her. And this is great for all of us to be together. I think we have a little over 30 people on this right now, and we'll probably, before we're done, more people are coming on. We'll probably have close to about 70. Commissioners. So you've got a nice following here for our virtual happy hour at 4 p.m. You'll notice that both the commissioner and I are wearing red today. That isn't by happenstance, and it's not Valentine's Day. We're actually wearing that because today is sadly a day that we want to recognize, and again, sadly, because it is in noting a fact. It's called Equal Pay Day. And today it falls on March 31st. What Equal Pay Day is it symbolizes how far into the year women as a total, as an average woman, has to work to make as much as a man earned in the previous year. Women still, in total, earn 82 cents for every dollar that a man makes. And if you break it down even into smaller areas, Black women specifically make 62 cents for every dollar that a man makes. And Daniella particularly is concerned about the fact that Latino women make 54 cents to every dollar that a man makes. Mothers, for those of you that are mothers that are on the phone and on our webinar, sadly, in total, make 73 cents to every dollar that a man makes. And single moms make 72 cents to every dollar that a man makes. How do we change that? That's why we were all here, ladies and the gentlemen that have joined us. We get Democratic, pro-choice women elected to office at all levels of our government, from city and county commissions to mayoral races, to the legislature, the House and the Senate, to the cabinet and gubernatorial. That is what Ruth's mission is to identify, recruit, train, mentor, and help pro-choice Democratic women get elected to all of those levels, and to then follow them in their careers and their leadership. We see the difference that women make in elected office. We see the difference that Daniella has already made in serving in the office that she is now. But particularly as we are going through this crisis that we hope we'll see the light at the tunnel sooner versus later, we're seeing an unbelievable importance on the kind of races that Daniella is running in. It's our municipal frontline governments, our city and our county governments, certainly, and our state governments that are making the life and death decisions affecting our lives every day. So as much emphasis as, I have MSNBC on in the background, and we probably all have, national news on quite a bit now, as important and as much emphasis is placed on the presidential races and our federal races. The races that affect our lives every day, day in and day out, much more are the races like what Danielle is running in. Her leadership, her votes, her discourse, her listening to your concerns and your real issues every day, day in, day out, whether it's with your children or with their jobs or their health or their reproductive health care, whatever the issues are. She's hearing those, and it's her job, and she has the impact to be able to change those every single day. So thank you, first of all, Commissioner, for the work that you've already done. We wish you the best of luck and go forward in this campaign. And these seats are no longer building a bench. for higher legislative offices in the state of Florida. These seats are vitally, vitally important to each one of our lives. And we know that, and that's why we want to support you as much as we possibly can. With that, I'd like to turn it over to Daniella, Commissioner Daniella Levine Cava. Daniella?
Thank you so much, Pam. What a wonderful occasion. I've been looking forward to this opportunity together. After all, it's a new normal, so we're together virtually, and it's a celebration. And yeah, we've all been so worried, and we've all been so focused on health, public health, on the economy, but we do have things to celebrate. And I am delighted to be with you, Ruth's List, my first endorser. Cheers. Cheers. My first endorser, important campaign, and my wonderful volunteers and donors and supporters in the audience, because, you know, it does matter. I really want to echo what you're saying. Yes, we have national politics, and we know for sure that it does matter who's in the White House. We know it matters who represents us in Congress. Our governors have been at the front lines of these, and of course, we've been pushing our Florida governor to do much, much more. But at the end of the day, dealing with a crisis starts here, right here at home. And I have been engaged from the first moment of this crisis, pushing our mayor, pushing our commission to do what is needed to help our working people, our families, our children, our working women. This is my life. This is what I've done my entire life. And here we are at this moment of truth, at this incredible inflection point in our society. And it really, really matters who is on the 29th floor at Miami-Dade County government. So I'm really excited to have been in this race. And, you know, it's been a year. I got into this race in April of 2019. So let's raise a toast to 1 year of campaigning. Thank you very much, everyone who's been from the beginning. It's been a full year, and it is the last day of Women's History Month, which is, of course, historic. We are celebrating 100 years of women's right to vote, and the beautiful pictures of the suffragists marching and chaining themselves to the White House fence and dressed in white, and the exhibits that we've had to commemorate that great milestone. All of it just creates that momentum and that excitement that now is the time for a woman to be in office at every level. We've never had a woman mayor in Miami-Dade County, and I will be the first with all of your support, because I have looked in my crystal ball. I have looked deep in my crystal ball, and with all of the good news that we're about to share, I know we are on the path to victory. It's a whole new world of campaigning. We're not doing it with the door knocking and the baby hugging and the puppy hugging, but we are doing it virtually. We're doing it with your help. We're doing it through the internet and through our phone calls and through our mail. So I'm super, super excited to lead you through some of the great milestones that have already been won. So we have a PowerPoint. We're going to go through it. Let's get started.
We'll get
awesome.
it up.
One moment, I'll share my screen with you guys.
This is Kayla. She's our political director at Ruth's List and also master of all slides and technical things. Also joining us on the call, I've got to mention, is Becca Teeter, who is our communications and program director. And she's the one that is really putting these together all around the state on all sorts of different issues for both candidates and for Ruth's List. So thanks, ladies.
And thank you so much. And what we'll do is after each slide, we'll raise a toast. You can do it however you raise a toast. I've got here my symbolic wine glass, and Pam's got hers. So first of all, again, thank you, Ruth's List. What a great idea, Pam, to put this forward to the ladies who are home. We might not have been home before, but we sure are home now. So hopefully those of you who could have been able to join us for our virtual happy hour. All right, next slide. So we started a year ago, the campaign, but we started collecting petitions in June. We made the decision to be historic with this race, not only as the first woman mayor, but the first to qualify by petition. Now, this has never been done in Miami-Dade County for the office of mayor. I did it as commission candidate, but nobody has done it as mayor. It requires 1% of all of the eligible voters to sign a petition to say, my name should be on the ballot. Now, technically, we have until April to accomplish this, the end of April, but as you'll see, we are announcing today that we have obtained the critical milestone. We are ready to go. So in June, we started with 1,000. Enthusiasm. Yay, cheers.
Really? I'm gonna need more wine. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. I did not know that. You surprised me on that one. That's great.
But you know, this is really thanks to an incredible group of volunteers who have pounded the pavement. They've been out at farmers markets. They've organized teams to go door to door. They've joined with us for canvassing parties. They've had, some have even put the petitions on the dinner plate when they've had dinner parties. It has been quite the effort. And, you know, when we started slowly, 1,000, that was good. And, you know, how were we going to get there? Now, we need 14,250 to qualify. That's the 1%. But we know that not all of those petitions would be certified by the Department of Elections, and they do review each and every one to look for the matching signatures and make sure you're a qualified elector. So we have to over-collect. And we set the goal of 18,000, and this month, with your help, we have met that goal. Yay, cheers.
Cheers.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, cheers. Very good. By the way, that's my dad. If you could go just back for a second, my dad is in that picture. The brown hat. He's one of my biggest fans. All right, that was when we opened our office in Opelika. Excuse me, Miami Gardens, our first office. All right, there are other milestones. You know, campaigns are not for free. They cost money. And in this case, countywide, big race, lots of candidates. We knew we'd have to raise a lot of money. And here we are to tell you, incredible but true. I did not know we could do it. In 1 year, we have raised $2.5 million.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm sorry, keep drinking, ladies. That's awesome. Congratulations.
It's really awesome. You can see the progression.
Congratulations.
All right. You can see we started in April with a big bang, 35,000 the first month, and we climbed from there. You know, I am so proud. It is, you know, it's thousands of donors. We have so many people donating, and many of them smaller. If you could mute your phones, if you're everybody mute. It's on the upper right, I think. Okay, we like
lower left.
Or yeah, hi. So we have donors $5, $20. Sometimes on 2020, people are giving 2020 every month for the year 2020. And every single time it's done online, I get the little email alert and it lifts my heart. And when I get to the office, which I haven't done in a while, when I get to the office and I see the checks, each one feels like a hug. So I could not be more proud. I could not be more excited to have such wonderful, wonderful financial support. So again, 1 year, $2.5 million, 18,000 signatures. Hooray, hooray. And now, because we're there, we've set a new goal. Oh, let's go back to the new goal. We are going to, with your help, reach even higher. 20,000 signatures, 2,000 more people that will be saying my name needs to be on the ballot. This is an incredible way to make friends, to make contacts, to spread the word how important this race is, and that I will bring in such important change to County Hall. So with your help, we're going to make history and set a new goal of 20,000 signatures. Ching, ching. All right. Okay, now we're ready for the next slide. Well, Ruth's list, she's the change. You were my first endorsement. That means so to to me. Thank you, Ruth's list. That was followed by Labor Community Alliance of South Florida, a labor group, which, you know, wasn't waiting for the AFL, which is going to hopefully come out with their endorsements very soon. The Sierra Club. This is the environmental activist group that is the only one locally that does endorsements. So I am so, so proud. I've always had the Sierra Club's endorsement. I am your environmental candidate. And thank you so much, Sierra Club and Communication Workers of America, another strong union here in Miami-Dade and around the country. So let's raise our glasses and toast these wonderful groups and their support. Thank you. Thank you so much. Great. Moving right along. We have endorsements from elected officials, former and present. This is an incredible list. Each one of these elected officials is doing their part to represent their constituents, to do what is needed to build a stronger community. I could not be more proud of this broad cross-section of leadership in our county. And you'll see I have congresswomen, state senators, state representatives, county commissioners, school board members, mayors of our local cities. We have vice mayors, we've got commissioners of the different cities and councilwomen and councilmen. So this is a beautiful, beautiful list, and each one of these people, I'm proud to stand with you. So let's raise our glasses on high and toast our elected officials. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, moving on. So here's a little summary of what we've achieved this year. 18,000 petitions, you know, 2,000 plus volunteer hours. Oh my volunteers are incredible. They lift my spirits. I go to public events and there they are, even without being called by our campaign. They are tireless. It is incredible. So, so moving, and organizing their own events. We have had 60 plus fundraisers, not in March, not since the coronavirus world, but 60 plus fundraisers. That's 60 plus hosts and hostesses and all the people that joined. Each one of those events, joyful, uplifting, hopeful. Thank you. We know $205 million raised. We've had 45 days of action on the campaign in the community, in different neighborhoods, inviting people to join me in Canvas. Incredible. And many, many volunteers have come out numerous times to those days of action as we have fanned out across neighborhoods and gotten to know the constituents. 50 plus endorsements and 10 house parties, meeting new friends everywhere. So thank you everybody for helping us to make history. Let's toast. Cheers. Hello, very good. Now I think we have a little video for you.
On November 3rd, as the nation readies for what the next day will bring, Miami-Dade will shatter our highest glass ceiling and make history. Daniella Levine Cava will usher in new leadership that reforms county government on day one and lead with a bold agenda: equal pay, earned leave, entrepreneurship, environmental resilience, our champion, our voice, our change. Daniella Levine Cava, our history-making moment.
Great.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's do a cheer to that beautiful TV ad. And it's been running and people have seen it. Yes. Thank you, Pam. Yes. So
hello.
We are the first one to run an ad in this campaign. So Miami-Dade, are you ready to make history? Yay.
Yes.
Yes. Say
Yay.
yes and toast.
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay, great. And I think now we're ready to open the floor, right, Pam? To any questions?
Yeah, any questions? So again, if you're looking at your screen on the lower left-hand side, it looks like a little microphone. There's probably a red line through it. That's muted. If you just click on that, it'll turn green and we can hear you. Also, if you go into chat, which is at the bottom of your screen, You can write a question if you prefer not to say it, and we'll get that and feed that to Daniella as well. And if you're on the phone, if you're not on Zoom, just butt in, and we'll take your questions. Any questions for Daniella? Anything about her race,
Yes.
her platform?
Joanne Bander here, if you can hear me.
Yes, we can see you and hear you, Joanne. Welcome.
Obviously, it's not a campaign as usual for anybody anymore. So given the fact that we could be closed down easily into May, how are you going to handle just getting that extra 20,000 signatures? What are the strategies given the fact this is a very different time?
Right. Well, thank you so much for the question, Joanne, and thank you for being a true believer. Ever since I moved to Miami, I've had the pleasure to work with you. You are just a stalwart leader, not only on women's issues, but community issues anyway. I just
Thank you.
Tribute. Let me say
a lot of fun together.
we have, and you've sponsored fundraisers and everything else. So look, it's on all of us. There are at least 2,000 more people out there that we can reach in this virtual world. You know, we're all of us now on our computer 24/7. I get the little I get the little notice every day from my iPhone how many hours I'm on it. It's pretty good. But the point is that we can reach out. Now, these signatures are not necessary for getting on the ballot, but what they do is create excitement, momentum, awareness. So all of these chats that you're on, all of your virtual friends, reach out to them. We can easily get another 2,000 from the tremendous network that we have. And then those are all ambassadors, all people that have heard the name, they've learned about the campaign, and we're reaching out, we're following up with those people. We're sending them thank yous. We're keeping them abreast with the developments in the campaign. So we are not going to retire. We are going to push on in this brave new world using these new platforms. We're going to have other virtual opportunities to engage with the campaign. And most importantly of all, I am out front and center leading on this issue, on this crisis. I've been communicating with the mayor, with the governor, with our state delegation, everybody, to make sure that the problems that we're identifying, like the unemployment compensation system that's malfunctioning, like the fact that people are going to have to pay rent starting tomorrow and they're terrified that they will be evicted. We have an eviction moratorium in Miami-Dade, but we don't have it across the state. And we have people who are still afraid that that rent will eventually become due. So there are so many areas of concern that we are going to address. Hunger issues, food distribution. I'm going to be out front and center between now and August, as I've always been.
Just one suggestion, and then one supplemental, but a question that fits with it. Will you be sending out again, since it's really now an online campaign on the petition? I, for one, would like to get a new email with the information to send on with the downloadable for people.
Absolutely, absolutely. We will be engaging you with a link, how to engage. There's many ways you can do it. You can do it on your phone with the VAN app. You can do it with a paper list. People invited, we want you to sign up, and that's our closing ask to have you to.
And the final part of it is, the deadline, I'm assuming, for the signatures is still April 30th.
Well, I understood April 28th, but yes. Look.
Okay, so
yes,
it's a quick turnaround.
We will have met the deadline. So the point is to get the word out. More people. Yes. Thank you so much, Joanne. Thank you. Great, great questions.
Daniella, this is Evelyn. Nice to see you all. On the question that was just asked, wouldn't it be interesting to ask for an extension of time for filing the petitions? Everything else is being extended. Why not that? Well,
we've already met it. We don't really want to extend it. We want to celebrate our victory. And,
I thought you were short.
No, we're celebrating. We've achieved 18,000 petitions, which was our goal. We only need 14,250 to qualify. We know we've done more than that because not all of them will be considered countable, legitimate. but we are well past our required number of petitions. We're continuing to do it to build, more momentum, more of a base. Thank you. Thank you so much, Evelyn. And for your tremendous, yes, and again, not everybody might not know you. They probably do, as our former mayor of Pinecrest and someone who's been front and center on the campaign as well. Thank you so very much.
Danielle, a person who I think is just on the phone or just typed it into the chat wants to know, and I don't know the answer to this, will there still be mayoral debates? Has that been discussed?
Yes, thank you. You know, some of the qualifying interviews have gone on virtually. So we've had a couple online. We have one scheduled for Saturday. So the endorsement process is still going on. I do not know that we've scheduled any virtual debates, but that would be something that could be done. I think one of the groups that was planning a debate did want to do individual interviews with candidates and then post those. So rather than do it as an exchange, do it as an interview with information that they could post. And look, I mean, I think all of us know that you have to plan for the worst and hope for the best. And we do have some indications that the virus is turning around in some places. So we know that social distancing and what we're doing is effective. I don't believe we know that for Miami-Dade yet. I'm not saying we have a date by which we can all feel comfortable, but this too shall pass. And there will be a tomorrow that is returning us to being together physically as well as virtually. So that to be said, I don't know exactly when that will be, but we'll do our best virtually. And when we're able to celebrate in person, we'll be here.
Exactly. Other questions? Other questions for the candidate?
Hi, Commissioner, it's Marika Lynch. Thank you so much. I'm so excited, first of all, that you made the goal. It's amazing. I'm really, really happy, especially with everything that's going on.
Thank you. Thank you, Marika. Yes, thank you.
You just mentioned that we have some evidence that the virus is, retreating in some places. Did you mean in Miami-Dade, or did you mean in general around the world?
No, I did not mean in Miami-Dade. I meant, for example, in Seattle, where there's some indication, but it's really too early. Like Dr. Fauci said, we know that we have to keep the course. We cannot stop. There's a huge lag in results because so few people are being tested. Test results take a while to come in. It's certainly too early to say that we're winning this war, but we do know the things we need to do, and we need to double down and just keep doing them because they are evidencing some results and around the world. So that's what we're going to do. And, we need to not let up, so we can't paint too rosy a picture, but we need people to have hope as well.
Daniella, from the chat room, when does the Miami Herald make an endorsement? Do you know?
Yeah, so in my last race, commission race, they did not make an endorsement until, unfortunately, after mailed ballots went out, which was very frustrating.
Yeah.
But clearly for the main race, which is higher stakes, we hope and expect that they will do it enough in advance for people to have a meaningful opportunity to digest the information. But they have not reached out in any way. Of course, the election is August, and I guess absentee ballots go out a few weeks before. So, we certainly hope that by June or July at the very latest that there would be the screening interview at the Miami Herald.
Yeah, absentee ballots, it was passed in the legislature. They actually are going out earlier. There's a longer time span, depending upon the county, but depending upon your supervisor of elections, they can go out as far as 6 weeks in advance of the election.
And of course, we want people to register to vote by mail, and we want people to check the status of their registration and make sure that their signature is updated on file. so as to avoid any problems of the validation of the signature. And then once you have that ballot in your hands, to vote early so that there's plenty of time to verify that it has been received and counted.
So glad you mentioned that. I was speaking with Terry Rizzo, our party chair, yesterday, and the state party has clearly flipped their priorities from voter registration on the ground, boots on the ground voter registration, to a whole vote by mail program. They're actually going to introduce legislation and what will probably be a special session that'll be called because of the budget and everything that's happening. That has a slim chance of passing, but clearly the emphasis from the party will be to get as many people to vote by mail as possible. And to get those vote by mails, and I would strongly suggest, and you probably already do have the link on your website, but if you just go to your supervisor of elections, your Miami-Dade supervisor of elections, it's super easy. You can request a vote by mail ballot right there for both the primary and the general election. And the commissioner is absolutely right. The sooner you do that, the better. And as soon as you get your ballot, please allow enough time to get it mailed back in.
And it's very easy to check the status online as to whether the ballot has been received. So that is a really, really make sure that everything has gone well. Great.
Hello, everyone. I'm Carolina, and I just want to say hello and Camila, and cheers. Cheers to all of you. Cheers to Commissioner Daniella Levine Cava. I'm so proud with Camilita to be one of your most biggest supporters. I remember meeting you a year ago at the League of Women Voters, and I'm so proud to be here with you today. I've invited a couple of ladies that, are still being introduced to you, and I still want to introduce more of my friends to you. And my question is, now more than ever with the coronavirus, and we've seen the type of leadership we've had, or the lack of leadership, unfortunately. I think now more than ever, we need leadership, and you are that leader. You are that voice. I know that because I've been, with you. I've been working with you. And today in the Miami Herald, it says, and I'm going to quote them, one of the epidemiologists behind a coronavirus model cited by the White House over the weekend as a reason for extending national social distancing recommendations through the end of April has advised Florida's state government to issue a statewide stay-at-home order, the kind of blanket decree that Governor Ron DeSantis has so far insisted is unnecessary. So as commissioner and as our future women mayor, how would you handle this situation differently? How would you be that leader that we all can really depend on in regards to what is going on today with our leadership?
Thank you so much for being on, Carolina, Camila. So wonderful to see you, and for your wonderful support, your beautiful smiles. Yeah, let me say, leadership means telling the truth and still inspiring hope. So, our leaders have been hiding from the truth. We know what happened in China. We know what happened in South Korea. We know what's happening in Italy. What makes us different, right? We're a more open society. We have a lot of freedoms. And those freedoms, unfortunately, have led to some exposure. So it's so critical now. Safety is number one. Nationally, the message has gotten out. Yes, we care about the economy. Yes, of course, we're terrified of what the new economic order will be. But number one order of business is take care of our health. Get rid of this virus. And it's really clear what we have to do. And we have been when I say we, not me, others have been avoiding telling the truth. The truth is stay home. It's not just safer at home. You must stay home. There are so many people out and about doing things they do not need to do. They're exposing themselves to risk, and they are exposing others. We do not know who among us is carrying this virus. We must behave as though we are all carriers. And so the only safe thing to do is to take all those precautions. The quicker we do it, the quicker we will get through this and back to normal. So that's what I've been saying. That's what I'm going to continue to say. We're just prolonging the agony. We need to buckle down. And I think most Americans are ready to hear that message. Most people here in Miami-Dade County are ready to hear that. Maybe not all of Florida is down for the program because there's places that think, oh, we're rural. Clearly, metropolitan areas are most at risk because there's much closer congregation, but we're all at risk. This virus knows no boundaries. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Other questions?
So, and you know, by the way, to the moms that are home schooling, cheers.
God bless you.
And the moms and the grandmoms and the grandpas and the dads and the teachers that are doing it from school. We've all learned Zoom. It's a whole new world. And thanks to all of you. I do story time every day at 11. I'm having a great time with it too. So tune in to me on my commission Facebook page. And starting tomorrow, we're going to have a whole new selection from books and books. So join us every weekday at 11 for Daniella's story time.
My favorite bookstore in the whole world. I love that store. Any other questions? Any other questions for Daniella?
I actually have a bit of a logistical, technical question, which is, hi, Commissioner, thanks for hosting this. It's great to see everyone. Shout out to Femme Book Club on here also. I was just contacted by someone with a medical supply company who has thousands of N95 FDA approved low-cost masks, and I was asked to help push them out onto the front lines. Can you give me some specific recommendations for who I should contact to get that PPE out?
Yes, great. So Miami-Dade County is actively, first of all, great to see you. Thank you for your leadership. North Bay Village, yay. It's pretty simple. If you'll send me the information, I will forward it on to the folks at the county who are handling procurement. They're reviewing each of these opportunities, validating the product, and then yes, we are purchasing everything we can. And the county is cooperating with the cities now. The League of Cities and the mayor are speaking regularly, which is a great new thing that I will double down on as mayor. Strong relations with our cities. And we're working, of course, across the healthcare system. We all are collaborating to make sure that we have the PPEs, the personal protective equipment that we need, as well as to get the testing out. I mean, some good news is I've been pushing on the testing. 65 and older, you know, we thought is the most vulnerable, and yes, and pre-existing condition, but we know nobody is immune. And so now we're going to start testing below age 65 as well. And we're going to be opening a test site in South Dade. So there's some good progress being made. I've been calling for all frontline workers, all first responders to be prioritized. You know, it's really not acceptable for our nurses to be coming down with the virus from people that we've not identified as contagious, and then unfortunately even risking their lives. So we need to make sure that we have the tests and the protective equipment that we need for anyone that is walking into the line of fire on our behalf. So thank you for letting me know. I will definitely pursue that.
Okay, great. I'll follow up with you. Thank you so much.
Other questions? Topics, concerns, things you're fretting about. Happy news.
There's one in the chat, Pam.
There's something in the chat. Oh yeah, there's 20
questions in the chat. That have we answered? How do you see the election being conducted in November, and do you expect voter reg efforts to pick back up after everything is over, maybe during the summer?
Yeah, so I'll just say that, you know, in talking to the party chair again, hope for the best, but plan for the worst. And so that's why the party at this point in time is flipping their efforts away from voter registration and flipping it to vote by mail efforts. Certainly, if things can open back up, I'm sure they'll put you know, boots back on the ground and voter registration in a very major way, particularly in races all around the state where Democrats have a chance to Could someone please mute their, someone needs to mute their phone or their, hello? Someone needs to mute their screen, please. Thank you. So, we're gonna hear something soon that you don't want us to hear, I bet. Please mute your screen.
Sharon, if you can hear us, you're not muted and there's some background noise.
He's not at
Sharon Tanner.
So maybe you can mute her. You mute her.
Okay, I'll just try and speak over her. So again, vote by mail efforts is the emphasis that the party is making, and rightfully so. You know, how will this play out in August and November? It's everyone's best guess, but that's why the vote by mail effort is being started now, because the way Democrats across all of our races, not just in Daniella's, are going to win, and where we're going to flip seats is by turnout. That's just a fact. As Democrats, we must turn out for this election. And so that's why the vote by mail effort is so important. Sharon Tanner, please, can you hear me? Sharon! Sharon!
You can't mute her from there?
Can we disconnect her, Kayla?
I can't mute her from here, but I'm going to see if I can get her out. Let's see.
Okay. So while you're working on that, I did want to mention, I saw a question about the wage gap and what we can do to address it. And Pam laid out at the beginning that today is equal pay day for women. That's why we're wearing red, because we're going to get out of the red after today. And this is the day by which a woman earns as much as a man for the same job from the last year. So it took this long into the end of March to catch up for the same job. So that having been said, I'm really proud that I brought to Miami-Dade County the Convention to End Discrimination Against Women in All Forms. This is the UN Charter. The United States had not adopted it, unfortunately, along with the Vatican, Oman, and Iran. So we were not in very good company, I'm afraid, on this point. So there's been a movement for cities across the country to adopt it. And we were the very first county, and I did that in my first year as commissioner. Very exciting. Now Broward has followed suit, so we're not alone. But that has led us to produce an annual report card with the findings of the discrepancies for men and women on a range of topics, not only salaries, but also education, safety, healthcare, business development. So all of those, and we've been able to make some changes, pass some legislation to address those gaps. We, for example, now require all businesses that contract with Miami-Dade County to sign a pay equity agreement. So they must sign it, and if they don't follow pay equity, if it's monitored and they're not doing that, then they risk losing their contracts. Miami-Dade County government itself is gender neutral in the hiring per se, but one way is women fall behind if they take time out for child rearing or if they don't post all of their educational achievements. So now we've required that educational achievements be posted to help to make up the difference. Also, the number of women contractors has fallen alarmingly post-recession, and I have been pushing departments to take into account women's history in project management, not only as principals of the company, but to qualify them. And not all departments are doing that. As mayor, I would double down on that. So we would create a more level playing field. We've also helped domestic violence victims with resources when they're released from jail or shelters. So we've done quite a few things, and we're going to keep it up. So, you know, by the way, ladies, the biggest pay gaps are in the most professional fields. Lawyers, scientists, and the like have a bigger pay gap than the non-professional jobs, partly because those non-jobs, the wages are so low anyway, unfortunately.
Right. Again, the easiest solution is getting more Democratic women elected to office at all levels. It's the laws that have to be changed, and they have to be adhered to. Thank you, Daniela. Any other questions, topics you'd like to chat?
I have a toast to make. I would like to make a toast. I want to thank Daniella for being one of 4 no votes against the 836 extension out in the Everglades. We just got a ruling yesterday that is in our favor. Of course, we have to convince the governor and the cabinet to uphold that, but I want to thank you for being one of 4 no votes and understanding that we need to focus on infrastructure and transit to have a walkable community in Dade County. I think that's really important. So thanks for being our environmental champion.
All right, cheers. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you, Laura.
Hard work on that too. Yeah, I did want to say a little about my environmental record. I'm a born-again environmentalist. I've always enjoyed nature. It's always been what we've done for recreation and family vacations and hiking in the wilderness, rafting, crossing the Everglades in a canoe for 4 days, sleeping on platforms, you name it. That's what we've done. That having been said, I came into office and discovered that there really wasn't much attention to it at the county commission. I was quite surprised. Yes, sea level rise. We've done a lot of studies and we've been moving forward with some infrastructure changes, not quick enough, but really pants on fire. We have got a big, big problem in Miami-Dade County. And I've been the self-proclaimed water warrior, fighting for the safety of our water, the cleanliness of our water. Look, all of Florida is dependent upon the quality of our water. But Miami-Dade County and South Florida, this is our paradise. Without clean bay water, without clean beaches, without clean drinking water, tourism comes to a grinding halt, and our fisheries, our recreation, our health. So I have really been extremely engaged in pushing this administration to fix our aging water sewer infrastructure, to push back against saltwater intrusion into our aquifer, to make sure that chemicals were not released into our water supply, to make sure that our solid waste and recycling systems were working, and so on. So this is something that I will prioritize in office. I've been quite frustrated at the slow pace. For example, reducing our carbon footprint, going solar. These are all things that the county has an outsized influence on, and I do not see a sense of urgency. I will be moving forward with urgency on all of those environmental concerns.
And yeah, there's a question from the chat room, and I don't know if you know the answer to this, but how will we pay for the water and sewer infrastructure improvements?
Yes, well, we have been paying for them because we're under federal court order to do them, but they've been moving glacially, I would say, unfortunately. So, it's part of our infrastructure program. That having been said, solar is abundant in Florida. And we, because of a report that I requisitioned through the county, we've identified a huge percentage of county buildings and other facilities that could post solar power. We could do it in conjunction with the utility, but we could also do it on our own, and we would reap tens of millions of dollars in savings. So, we have to look at getting with the program. Look, this coronavirus is teaching us that people can work remotely. It's teaching us that we don't all have to go into an office, that we can stagger our work hours, that we can have better quality of life, not stuck in traffic. Hopefully it will teach us other ways, because we are reducing our carbon. It'll teach us other ways that we can aggressively move forward, things that will save us money and allow us to reinvest in the things that we need for our future.
Great. Any other questions? I'm going to try and wrap it up because we said we were going to try and keep this to an hour, and we're at 4:51. But one last question maybe for the commissioner, our future mayor. Any other topics? Good news, bad news? How about, Commissioner, as we segue into kind of how people can help and what you need, the ask portion of this, but what are your thoughts on, as you talk about, we're we're engaging in new ways of communicating, and probably we're going to come out of this with a lot of improvements in how we did things. What about engaging, the same topic, and I think we have quite a few young people joining us as well. What about engaging the youth vote? And engaging youth in being interested in your campaign, and how do we engage them actually to get out there and vote? Do you have thoughts on that?
Yes. Well, nothing like a good crisis to create an opportunity. And I do think it's incumbent upon us to help young people see that it doesn't only matter what happens in Washington, D.C., but it matters what happens right at home. And if we can draw that contrast, and we can talk about who's making sure that we don't get sick, who's making sure that people can avoid being evicted, who's making sure that jobs are available once we get through this crisis, who's thinking about their future. I tell young people on the campaign trail, I'm doing this for you. I could be with my grandchild, okay? My grandchildren, let's be clear. I am doing this for the future. I'm doing it because young people need to see that this is a place that they should invest, that they should make as their home. We need them. We need their energy, their creativity. And we've not done enough to open the doors for those opportunities. So I am all about making sure that true opportunity exists. There'll be lots of room for inventiveness coming out of this. So many, and young people are the ones that are going to show us the way how to navigate in this brave new world. So I'm here for you. I want to hear from you. I haven't mentioned it before, but I am the most collaborative mayor that will ever have been in Miami-Dade County. That is my middle name, collaboration. And I cannot wait to partner with young people, with small business owners, with everyday people in their neighborhoods. We need all of you. We don't just need you every 4 years when it's time to vote. We need you to be part of the solution. You've got the answers.
Exactly. Thank you. Now, before I wrap up, website. How do people reach your campaign to do all the things that I'm going to ask them to do in our closing minute here?
Well, other than the excitement of today and announcing our success, 18,000 petitions, $2.5 million, 2,000 volunteer hours, so exciting to be together during this difficult time. One of the most exciting things in the campaign was the website, because it's simply Daniella.vote. I just can't think of a clearer message to send.
Right.
There Daniella, 2 L's, .vote, and all the information that you need is right there.
Terrific. Thank you so much. You are a motivator. You are an icon, and you are going to be our next mayor in Miami. I feel confident of it. But to make sure that happens, first of all, thank you to all of you for joining this webinar today. We did this for the commissioner today, but Ruth, Florida is going to be doing it for candidates all across the state. We'll be coming back into Miami and doing it for school board candidates and commission candidates and your legislative candidates down there. We'll be doing virtual town forums, and we'll be doing them again all around the state, so be on the lookout. This was recorded. So all of you that attended today, that's why we captured your email. We'll be sending you a copy of this webinar out, and we would ask that, if you want to rehear it and look at it again, it's all yours. But what we really want you to do is push it out to your own networks. So the women and men that couldn't be with us here today can really get to know Danielle and get updated on her campaign. She's looking for 3 things right now that she really needs to put her path to victory in very clear focus. Number 1, she still needs people. So as much as we are communicating, she needs volunteers. There are a lot of things that you can do while you're sitting at home to help her campaign. So go to her website and just volunteer your time. She'll match you with the interests that you have and put you to work. Number 1. Number 2, She did a fundraising plan and in tandem with the people at Ruth's List at the beginning of her campaign, as do all of our candidates. And the one question I'm surprised that a lot of voters don't ask more is what do we need all this money for? And particularly after the passage of Citizens United, it's ridiculous amounts of money. I mean, congratulations on raising over $2 million. That is unbelievable and just a true landmark. But she needs that money and she still needs more. Why? More important than ever, because she needs to touch the voters. There's a lot of, how many voters do you have that you need to reach, Daniella?
So we're almost 3 million people, yeah. And it's about 1.5 million voters.
Yeah, at least, yeah. So that's a lot. So how do you, she can't, even if she was out there, she couldn't physically touch 1.5 million voters. So that's what those mailers that pile up in your mailbox from the time you get them out of the mailbox and you walk to the garbage can and throw them away, you're gonna see her picture and you're gonna see her message. All of a sudden, boots on the ground, the field program, which is so important, where many of you already have been out knocking doors for her, has come to a halt. That's where a lot of volunteers come in, you know, with an immense amount of help. She's going to have to now switch that field program to different messaging and communication. And it's most likely going to be in the form of something that costs money. Either it's going to be mailers, it's going to be digital, it's going to be buying ads through social media, all the different platforms that are available to her. So all of a sudden that budget that included that very major portion goes up. So donations. Whatever you can give, whatever you've already given, thank you. If you can go back and dig a little deeper, and we know times are tough, but if not only you, but you could share this video and talk to maybe 4 other people. You can get 4 other people to give $25, just $25. That's something, that's a lot. You're touching more voters, you're educating them about this great candidate, and you're helping put her coffers in a little better shape. So donations. And last but not least, and she has reached the threshold with petitions, but those petitions are communicating with her voters. And that's why getting those petitions, having that conversation and getting those petitions, and we're gonna show you on her website how you're gonna get a petition and you're gonna get it signed and you're gonna have to mail it back to her campaign because you're not gonna be out there actually collecting them by doors. But again, that is a form of communication where you're talking to voters about Daniella and her campaign, and they're extremely, extremely important. So volunteer, donate what you can, and ask 4 other people to, and get some petitions and continue getting them signed and back into her campaign. So again, it's Daniella, 2 L's, .vote is her website. If you can't remember that, if you go to ruthslistfl.org, ruthslistfl.org, our website, and you go under our candidates, you'll see her there with all the rest of our endorsed candidates at all levels, all around the state. Please click on her name. It'll take you directly to her website, and you can browse her entire website and hit that donate page and petition page as well. But take a look at the rest of our candidates, our wonderful women at all levels that we've already endorsed, and watch for many, many, many more to come before both the August and November elections. Danielle, last toast. I still have a little bit of wine left. Best of luck. Congratulations on all of your landmarks. You are an inspiration, an icon to your supporters and to other candidates, women candidates all around the state. Thank you for all that you do, and thank you everyone who's here with us.
Thank you. Cheers.
Bye everyone. Have a great evening.
Best of luck.